Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now, and I'm here today with Madalyn Sklar, founder of GoGirlsMusic.com and business coach. GoGirlsMusic.com is the oldest and largest online community of indie women musicians. Hey, Madalyn.
Woohoo! Because chicks rock. Yeah.
Madalyn, you founded the wildly successful GoGirlsMusic.com in 1996, and your organization is stronger than ever. That's a big congratulations for you.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Tell us the backstory and why you decided to found GoGirlsMusic.com.
It's a really, really cool story. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your program here. I'm really excited to chat with you and all your listeners. Here's what was going on. So 1995, the internet was very new back then. A lot of people actually didn't even know about it. I was married to a techie guy who, enlightened me on this new thing with internet and .com, and I was completely hooked. Like, I got on there and I was like, wow, what a great place to connect with other people. So at the time, I was a guitar player, not as serious, it was more of a hobby, but I thought, wow, maybe I can meet other female musicians, especially other female guitar players. And at the time, I was getting really frustrated going to the guitar shops where I live here in Houston, Texas. And I would go to the guitar stores and get ignored. And I'm like, is this because I'm a woman? Is it because I live in the South? Maybe I could talk to other female guitar players and see if they're going through what I'm going through. And I thought, well, wait a minute, this new internet thing that I've been exposed to, maybe I could find other guitarists around the country to talk to. So I came up with the idea for Go Girls Music, and I was learning web design at the time. So what I did is I came up with the idea and I just started building the website from scratch because I learned HTML, so I was learning. Back then, in 1995 and 1996, we didn't have these HTML programs like they have today where it does all the heavy lifting for you. Like, you had to type code off the top of your head into Notepad, and it was actually pretty cool. So I thought, well, why don't I set up a web page where I could connect with other female musicians, specifically guitar players, and at the same time, I'll use this website to sharpen my HTML skills. Back then, when you saw something cool on somebody's web page, you would just right-click, view the source, and see the code, and you could like, oh, that's how they did that. And that was like a common way as web developers back then were learning. There were no handbooks back then. There was no like college courses on how to be a web designer, how to program in HTML. Like, you truly just learned on your own back then. So I just thought it would be a neat way to, get the website off the ground and have the dual purpose. And oh my gosh, here we are 18 years later, and look at where we are. I mean, oldest and largest online community of indie women in music, and a lot of inspiration and empowering that goes on every day in the community.
Well, the amazing thing is that you continue to be relevant and you continue to grow. How do you do it?
Well, what's really interesting is, number one, I had no idea that I had this in me. I had no idea that I was such an entrepreneurial, spirited person until I started this in 1996. I officially, even though I came up with the whole thing in 1995, it was around the holidays, so December 95, I officially launched it the first week of January 1996. And as I was developing this and as it was growing in the first few years, I'm like, wow, like, I've got this really great thing where I am basically connecting people, helping them and connecting them together, and watching this thing explode. What was really cool is, I would say, with the first 2 years, I was out on the internet seeking out the bands, seeking out the female singer-songwriters, like actively seeking out people, inviting them to join the Go Girls community. After about the 2-year mark, and ever since, I really don't have to go do that. They all find me because I am really good with online marketing, and I do stay relevant. I mean, I read a lot of blogs, I read lots of newsletters, I do the work every single day. When everybody is, sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm usually up learning how to use the newest, coolest app, or reading, articles about the newest social network. Like, that's just how I am. And so I'm always eager to learn, like, how to keep things moving along and how to stay ahead of the curve.
And just for the record, that's before Twitter and Facebook. How did you even get people to be online in your community? Did you write your own software?
What's so cool is that basically I developed a social network before we even knew what a social network was. I mean, it's so interesting when you look back to what I was doing back then, and you look at today with Twitter and Facebook and all that. So here's how I did it in the early days. In the early days, it was just email. You had a static web page, so that just means there was no bells and whistles. It was just, a plain page with some text and maybe some images, and people could see it, and you could direct them to an email address. So back then, in the first 2 years, it was just emailing back and forth, and then I would take information from people and then post it on the website. So I would ask people, like, tell me about your experiences when you're at the guitar shops, and then I would copy and paste it onto the web page. And I had this page, it was so funny back then, I called it the Bash-O-Rama, and it was basically like, it said, tell me your stories, and feel free to, talk trash if you want, so you'll feel better, and just give me your stories. And then I would just post what people said, like, and there was a lot of trashing because people were like, wow, here's a forum. And this was back before you had message boards and forums, like
Right.
real ones. So basically it was like a homemade copy and paste, taking what people emailed me and posting it online, and there was no automation back then. But here's the turning point for Go Girls. Was in 1998, we got hooked up with the Yahoo groups, and back then Yahoo groups became this amazing place where it was like a message board, through these groups. And Go Girls was perfect for this because it's just very community driven. So I set it up and told everybody and directed them to this. So basically, if I sent an email, Yahoo gave you an email address, something like, Go Girls group at yahoo.com or something like that. And so when you would email that, it would go to everybody that signed up for the group. And it was great because it became this live continuous message board. So people would get on there and say, hey, like, this is a great example because it's a true story. Like, I'm touring across the country, I'm looking for venues to contact, I'm looking for other acts that I could open for when I'm on tour, and I'd have people come back to me and report back and said, hey, I put together a national tour, and a lot of it was done off of your Go Girls group, Yahoo group. I'm like, wow, that is really amazing that they use that to connect with other like-minded female artists in similar genres that they ended up doing gig swapping with. So that was tremendous because, again, even in '98, the internet was still very new for a lot of people. A lot of people really didn't start getting on until about the early 2000s.
That you offer a Go Girls Elite program too. So tell us about the benefits of Elite membership.
Yes, and here's what happened with that. So back in 2002, I decided it was time to start a membership program. I didn't do it for a very, very long time. There were other ones out there for musicians, a lot of singer-songwriter groups. There was even a few women in indie women groups, and some of them charged money, some of them didn't. I was not ready to do something where I charged money because I was hearing people getting disgruntled with some of the other groups saying, I'm paying this money and they don't do anything for me. And I'm such a people pleaser. I didn't want anybody like going around saying anything about me like that. So I thought the only way I would offer a paid membership program is the way I operate is, Cynthia, I like to over deliver. in everything I do. So I thought, when I have something where I could totally over-deliver, then I'll be ready to do it. So in 2002, I launched Go Girls Elite, and I only charged $35 a year. And here we are in 2014. I have never raised the price. It has stayed the same all these years. And the beauty of joining Go Girls Elite is that all of the members have the ability to submit to any of our showcase events around the world. We are a worldwide organization, which is awesome. And and other perks and benefits, we have private Facebook groups and Skype chats, Google Plus Hangouts, all kinds of things that we do that are just specifically for our members. So I provide a lot of value, and especially with connecting them together. So I'm really proud of our Go Girls Elite membership.
Well, you also offer music business consulting. So in addition to bringing women indie musicians together to learn from each other and to help each other, you also help them become better business people. So why don't you tell us about some of the areas you cover there?
Yes. Well, what happened with that was with Go Girls, I help people, I help the members as a whole. So as the group leader, I'm always giving out advice and information, and more people started coming to me and say, hey, can you just help me with this problem or help me with this issue? And I started getting like all of this like need for one-on-one help. So over time, I started thinking, well, I should, start putting myself out there as a music business coach and be a consultant helping musicians and get paid for it. So I officially launched that in 2004, and I called myself Indie Music Coach. And because when I do these things, I go all out. I mean, now I have everything just rebranded through my MadalynSklar.com website, and I started realizing I was doing way too much work with managing Go Girls Music, Indie Music Coach. I had another, when social networking started really developing and MySpace got really big, people were hiring me to manage their MySpace accounts. So I started a little thing called Social Networks for Musicians. So I was juggling like all these different things, and over time I realized it's a lot easier to just consolidate and have Go Girls Music for the musician community and Madalyn Sklar for the music business consulting, the social media help, all the other things. I do webinars, I have a podcast. I do a lot of things in the music business realm. But I love doing one-on-one coaching and consulting. I love helping musicians because musicians are so creative. They're so good at putting out good music and doing a lot of creative things, but a lot of musicians are not very business savvy, and they need help with simple things, even getting the mindset of treating your music as a business. A lot of musicians don't think like that, so I try to counsel them on, treat this as a business. Go set up a business checking account at your bank. Go get a P.O. box. Get that mindset of this is a business. And just by doing that, many times the artist will report back to me and go, wow, I'm starting to get better paying gigs. I'm starting to feel better about this whole business thing because they're changing their mindset. So it's really cool watching artists really take flight with that.
And there's more. We met on your weekly chat called #GGChat, which is every Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm thinking Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern. And
right, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. And that's the nighttime. I had to add a daytime because the Twitter chat has gotten so big and so popular that people overseas in Europe were saying, hey, what about us? It's 3 o'clock in the morning for us to be on the Twitter chat. So can we be on a chat too that's earlier for us? So actually in January, I started the daytime chat, which is at 3 o'clock Eastern, so that's 12 noon Pacific, and that allows those in Europe to be on at a decent hour. But I started the Twitter chat. It's going to be 3 years in July, so next month, 3 years. I do this every single Thursday, holidays included, There's always somebody there running the chat, usually me, pound GG chat. And yeah, I meet great people like you on there, musicians, music business professionals. It's for everybody in the music business, not just the women. You know, I started it thinking, I'll do a Twitter chat for members of the Go Girls community. It's public, so you know, with something like Twitter, you can't make it private. It's a public chat, but it grew so fast, Cynthia, like pretty much overnight, that I didn't want to limit people that want to be on there. So if the guys want to come on there, I'm all for it. You know, some people think, oh, Go Girls Music is for all girl bands and guys are totally excluded, which is not true. The only requirement to join Go Girls Elite is to have at least one female in the group. So we actually do have plenty of guys that are involved with Go Girls. But when it comes to something like the Twitter chat, we have so many guys that come on there that don't have girls in the band, and I'm totally cool with that. And it just makes for a great place where you can come and hang out and learn from other people and share your own information and advice. You've gotten on the chat and have shared plenty of information that I know has helped a lot of artists. So
Well,
it's wonderful having that.
well, I've met a lot of people who have been featured artists on Amused Now through your GG chat, and they've been multiple times guest post people. So there's a lot of wealth of information in GG chat and gogirlsmusic.com, let me tell you.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. And you know, when I started the chat, and I mean, this just keeps coming back to, I seem to have this knack for being at the top of the wave with things, like being on that cutting edge. And I'm not like I don't sit here every night and go, what can I do that nobody else is doing? Like it just happens. You know, I can't really explain it. It just happens. But with the Twitter chat, I really thought a lot of other people were going to do Twitter chats. I really, really, when you look, here we are 3 years later, I run the largest musicians Twitter chat. There are no others that I've talked with other, like TweetChat that we work with, you know, tweetchat.com, which is great when you want to participate on any Twitter chat. They're the best platform. And they've told me, they're like, you know, Madalyn, you have the largest musicians chat. You know, I'm just so surprised. I think more people should be doing these and running them, because it's amazing to be able to get on Twitter and connect with people and reach so many people on there.
I agree. It's wonderful. So before we end, I just want to reiterate and ask you, where can people get in touch with you if they want to become Go Girls Elite, or they want to use your consulting expertise, or they just want to participate with GG Chat? Let's just do a little summarization.
Yeah, there's several different ways to get in touch. So if people would like to go check out Go Girls, our community, they can go to gogirlsmusic.com. We are in a transition right now. We're getting a new website developed. So the website we have right now, you know, right now most of what we do is on social media, but through our website you can access our Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and everything. Go Girls Elite, the best way to get information on that is to go to our website, or just shortcut it and go to gogirlselite.com, and that'll take you right to the information page and the sign-up page for that. And then to get in touch with me for music business consulting, social media strategies, help with managing, anything else, just go to my website, which is madalynsklar.com, and that's MADALYNSKLAR.com. Not the easiest name. And our Twitter chat is, you just go to Twitter, log into Twitter, and do pound GG chat. And I encourage everybody to at least come on and say hi. I know we have a lot of lurkers that just come on and they watch, but they don't participate. But we are as you know, Cynthia, we're such a warm, welcoming bunch that if you just come on there and say hi and introduce yourself, you're going to get some instant friends on Twitter. You're going to get all these people following you and conversing with you, and it's such a wonderful feeling to get that instant connection by participating.
It is amazing, and it trends every week.
I love
It's
it. Yeah, it is.
Well, Madalyn, I have had a fabulous time talking with you today and learning more about GoGirlsMusic.com. Since I'm not a musician, I wasn't aware of all the wonderful things that you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on your program.
We both have a lot in common because we're trying to create a world where artists can make a living doing what they love. I look forward to partnering with you and making both our dreams come true.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, Cynthia. You rock.
You rock.
I know you rock.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now. This featured artist presentation has been brought to you by Amused Now Entertainment, a website that enables artists to profit from their creativity. To learn more about Amused Now, visit us at www.amusednow.com or email me at ckahn@amusednow.com.